Today we're working on a new tense for the 11th and 12th, which is the subjunctive, le subjonctif. Okay, generally this will be a new tense for you and you may find it using it a little strange because we generally tend to ignore it in English. It is there, but it is almost the same as the present tense, hence we tend to ignore it. Whereas in French, it has a completely different conjugation from the present tense. So you need to learn how to conjugate it. That is one thing. Second thing, you also need to learn when to use it. Okay. So first, let's look at how you conjugate a verb in the subjunctive. So we split it into two types. The first type is based on the subjects vous and nous. So when you're talking about these two subjects, that is nous and vous, the subjunctive is exactly the same as the imparfait. What is the imparfait? The imperfect, the past continuous tense, where you take the nous form in the present tense and you cancel off the ons, adding the endings ions for nous, iez for vous. So finir becomes nous finissions, vous finissiez. Manger becomes nous mangions, vous mangiez. Être will be nous étions, vous étiez, and so on. The same conjugations, the way you do for the imperfect tense, will apply for the subjunctive only for these two subjects, nous and vous. The second type is when you have the other four subjects, that is je, tu, il, elle, that is third person singular, and plural, il, elle. How do you do it then? The root is formed by taking the il form, that is third person plural form of the verb in the present tense, and you cancel off the ent. So, for example, manger, you take off the, first you conjugate in the present tense for il as il mange, and then you take off the ent, you are left with mang is your root. And then you add on the endings of the present tense onto that stem which you get, okay, which is e, es, e, and for the last person, ent. Remember, nous and vous, you are doing it as the imparfait. So it becomes je mange, tu manges, il mange, and il mange in the plural. So here it may look like that it is the same as the present tense, which it is, but for certain verbs it isn't. Okay, so you need to follow this rule. So for example, look at this, the subjunctive of the second group, that is the IR verbs. Finir, for example. When you take it as il finisse, F-I-N-I-S-S-E-N-T, and you take off the ent and then you add the endings, you will get a completely new set of verbs. Je finisse, tu finisses, il finisse. This is not the present tense, this is the subjunctive, and il finisse at the end. The nous and the vous form are the same as the imparfait. Nous finissions, vous finissiez. Look at the present subjunctive tense of boire. Boire is to drink. In the present tense, it is ils boivent, B-O-I-V-E-N-T. So you have to take off the E-N-T. You are left with B-O-I-V. And then you carry on adding all the present tense endings for je, tu, il, and il plural. Je boive, tu boives, ils boivent, ils boivent. The nous and vous form, you retain the imparfait. Nous buvions, vous buviez. Now, there are a select bunch of irregular verbs which you have to learn, including faire, pouvoir, savoir, aller, and vouloir. They are irregular verbs in the subjunctive. So, faire becomes je fasse, tu fasses, il fasse. Nous fassions, vous fassiez, il fasse. Pouvoir becomes je puisse, tu puisses, il puisse. Nous puissions, vous puissiez, il puisse. Savoir becomes je sache, tu saches, il sache. Nous sachions, vous sachiez, il sache. Aller becomes j'ai, tu es, il est. Nous allions, vous alliez, ils aient. Okay, vouloir becomes je vais, tu veux, il veut. Nous voulions, vous vouliez, il veut. Okay, and the two major exceptions that are always exceptions most of the time is avoir and être becomes j'ai, tu es, il est. Nous ayons, vous ayez, ils aient. Être becomes je sois, tu sois, il soit. Nous soyons, vous soyez, il soit. Okay, so total there are 7 of the major irregular verbs in the subjunctive. Now, we come to the use of the subjunctive. It is used after the word que. So as you've seen in the previous slides, we take the conjugation of the subjunctive using que. Okay, when it is preceded by a verb that indicates basically any kind of emotion, for example, wish, desire, doubt, regret. Okay, so these are the list of verbs There are many more, but these are the basic list. Okay, vouloir, to wish; désirer, to desire; souhaiter, to want something; conseiller, to advise; préférer, prefer; douter, to doubt; regretter, to regret. And then you have some impersonal expressions also. Il faut que, it is necessary that; il est nécessaire que, it is necessary that; afin que, so that; quoique is although; bien que, in spite of; okay, pour que, so that. So all these kinds of expressions which end with que, okay, vouloir que, désirer que, il faut que, pour que, and so on, take the subjunctive. So look at this example. Je souhaite qu'elle explique les leçons. I wish that she explain the lessons. Okay, qu'elle explique. So you can see expliquer has been put into the subjunctive here for elle. Elle me donne le livre pour que je puisse le lire. This is pouvoir put into the subjunctive because it is following pour que, so that. She gives me the book so that I can read it. Okay. Pouvoir put in the subjunctive for je is puisse, irregular. However, we do not use the subjunctive after que all the time. For these two verbs, that is penser and espérer, we do not use the subjunctive, we use the simple future tense. You will see that makes sense in English also. So, je pense qu'elle expliquera les leçons. I think that she will explain the lessons. You're using the simple future here and not the subjunctive. Okay. Same way, if you take it as espère, j'espère qu'elle expliquera les questions. I hope that she will explain the questions. Okay, so when you have penser, espérer followed by que, you do not get tricked by using the subjunctive, you use the simple future tense. Okay, so look at some examples here of sentences which use the subjunctive tense. L'emploi du subjonctif. Bien qu'il soit âgé de 90 ans, l'acteur se sent encore en forme et est très actif. So in spite of being aged 90 years, bien qu'il soit, okay, bien que, although, in spite of, subjunctive of être here as soit. The actor still feels healthy, okay, and is very active. Il est important pour lui qu'il puisse encore jouer dans des films. So il est important que. This is also followed by the subjunctive of pouvoir here. Puisse. It is important for him that he continues to play roles, that he continues to act in films. Le public est ravi qu'il reçoive toujours des propositions de rôle. So, être ravi que, to be excited about. Okay, so the public is excited that he continues to receive offers to play roles in films. Okay, qu'il reçoive, recevoir in the subjunctive here. Some other examples here. Le prof est impatient que tu fasses les devoirs. Faire put into the subjunctive here for tu, because it follows the expression être impatient que. Then, j'ai peur qu'il soit trop tard. I'm scared that he's going to be too late. Okay, so avoir peur que followed by être in the subjunctive. Le garçon désire que Papa Noël vienne. Désirer que followed by the subjunctive here of the verb venir. Okay. Les nutritionnistes suggèrent que les enfants boivent beaucoup de lait. So, suggérer que, to suggest that, is also followed by the subjunctive here of boire. And last example, il est improbable que les chiens mangent les fruits. Être improbable que, expression of doubt. Okay, it is improbable that, also followed by the subjunctive. This is of the verb manger.